Hi friends, we're back for another lesson from Alphabet Town Adventures. We're in volume 3 and today we're going to do the letter O. So that is going to be lesson 2 on page 12. So if you find your page 12, this is what we're going to start with. We're going to look at the big O and the little O and decide if you think that they look alike. What do you think? Yeah, they look exactly alike, don't they? Just one is bigger than the other, but you use the same way to make each letter. So where it asks you here, do big O and little O look alike? I'm going to circle the Y, that means yes. Okay, so now let's look at big O really quick and decide which of these lines do we use to make big O. Do we use a line down? No. How about this line across? No. Do you think we use any slide lines for O? No. What about this curve? Do you see that curve in O? Do you see that curve right here? Yes, let's circle that one. And then the curve going the other way. Do you see that curve? I see it right here. There's a curve going this way and a curve going that way. So you actually need to circle both of those curves. You could say that you see a hook on the top and a hook on the bottom, but the real way that we make the letter O is with these curves. We're going to curve all the way around, just like you're making the shape of a circle. And we don't use any dots. So really all you need to circle are these two curves for big O. And if you look at little O, it's going to be exactly the same, isn't it? No lines down, no lines across, no slide lines, but we're going to use those same curve lines. Circle those two. So that's what we have to make big O and little O. If you turn over to page 13, we'll start with big O. If you take it apart, it just looks like that curve and this curve. And so the order that you do it is to start up at the top. You're going to make your curve around. I'm doing this through watching, so it doesn't look very good. And then the little star right here, you're going to curve around that way. So you're going to curve around this way, curve up and around that way. And eventually when we put it all together, it will just be one smooth movement. Are you ready to try it? Let's put it all together for big O. Start at the start and go curve and keep going around, keep going till you hit the top. One more time. Curve around, keep going all the way to the top and join it back together up at the star. Curve around, keep curving, and that's how you make an O. It looks just like a circle. So pause the video and you give it a try. All right, how'd you do? I forgot to ask if you're holding your pencil the big kid way. I hope that you are. We're on page 14 now. We're going to make little O, and it's going to be just the same, only make your curves a little bit smaller. So we're going to make the curve going this way, then the curve going that way for little O. Curve going this way, curve up. It is a little bit harder to go up, but you guys can do it. So now we're going to put it all together for little O. Here we go. Curve around, keep going up. Do you see that? Curve around, keep going. Do you see that my curves are smaller this time? They are a lot smaller. So little O will be a little bit smaller than big O, but there you go. Do you see that? Okay, so now it's your turn to practice your little O. Make sure your grip on your pencil is the right way. Okay, and then come right back. Okay, friends, before we find out the sounds that little O makes, I want to see if you remember what's special about letter O. I think we might need to make the sound of O with our mouth. O. Do you see that my mouth is really big and open? The letters that you can do that with are usually vowels. And you remember that vowels are special letters that make more sounds. Let's sing the vowel song and see if you remember all the different vowel names, and we'll see if O is in the vowel song. If you still have your volume 1, that's where we talk about the vowels at the very beginning. On page 26 is the vowel song, and we're going to sing it together right now and see if you can find O as one of the vowels. Are you ready? Are some letters that make more sounds, and this is what their names are. A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. And sometimes letter Y, it likes to copy I. Did you hear the O in the song? You're right. O is a special vowel. I cannot wait to find out what sounds the O makes. Are you ready? Okay. When the little O's went into their classroom, it looks more like a doctor's office. Teacher O looked like a doctor. This is big O. She's the teacher. Here's the little O's. The little O's watched as their teacher was helping a little O who didn't feel so good. Miss O told the little O, or he told this little O, to open his mouth and say, ah, while she looked inside his mouth. That's odd, she said. We might need to operate. Have you ever been to a doctor and they tell you to stick your tongue out? Can you do that? Ah. It's more like ah, sorry. Say ah. Okay. Next, the little O said, oh no, oh no, 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 while they waved their arms back and forth and shook their head. The little O was afraid to be operated on. All the little O's joined in by waving their arms back and forth and shaking their heads. Oh, no, no, no. Luckily, Teacher O said there was some medicine that might help. So little O opened his mouth and let the medicine ooze down his throat. Ew, he said as he plugged his nose and scrunched it up. Teacher O turned to the class and said, while he was treating the little O, that he made 3 sounds of letter O. Ah, like when he opened his mouth. That was the first sound that O made. Can you open your mouth like a doctor's looking into your throat? Say ah. Then the next sound was O, like when the O said, oh no, we don't want him to get operated on. And the last sound that O makes is ooh, like when they said ooh, because the medicine was yucky. So can you try those 3 sounds with me? Open your mouth like ah, and then say oh, and then say ooh. So O says ah, oh, ooh. And now we're going to sing it and do the actions. Maybe you could watch me first. O says ah, O says oh, O says ooh, ah, oh, ooh. Can you do that with me? Let's try it. We're gonna do all 3 sounds. Here we go. O says ah, O says oh, O says ooh, ah, oh, ooh. Did you make all 3 sounds? Good job, friends. Ah, oh, and ooh. It makes those 3 sounds. So the teacher was wanting to show the little O some words that start with those sounds of O. So if you look in your book on page 21, here's the teacher with a blank whiteboard and she needs your help. You're going to take out these little pictures, have someone help you cut them out, and you're going to cut these and put them on the whiteboard. Remember how I told you that O says ah? Ah, like octopus, ostrich, and olive. Remember when I told you that O says oh? That's like in the word orange, oval, ocean. Did you hear the O sound? Now, when O says ooh, it's generally at the end of a word. So I have pictures here where the O is saying ooh at the end, like hairdo, the number 2, or a zoo. And so those are pictures of the O making all 3 sounds. We're going to help teacher O. Let me take these down. And cut out all those pictures. Okay, get your scissors. We're gonna cut out all these little pictures for teacher O. Hold with your helper hand and cut all the way around. Try to keep your lines nice and straight. Turn with your helper hand. Go all the way around. Sometimes you need to move the paper out of the way, huh? Okay, now I have all 9 pictures. I'm going to speed up the video and cut out each picture. Okay, friends, I have my pictures cut. I'm going to get my glue stick. And the first picture I'm going to put up there makes an ah sound. Can you guess what it is? It's an olive. I also have a picture of an animal that starts with ah. Ostrich. And I have a picture of another animal, a sea animal that starts with ah sound. Octopus. Now I'm going to do the O sound of O. I'm going to put up a picture of my favorite place to go. Ocean. And, ooh, here's a shape that starts with O. Oval. And a yummy fruit to eat. Orange. And then the sound of ooh in the word to. And in zoo, and in hairdo. This lady has a funny little bun on her head for her hairdo. Okay, now it's your turn to help teacher O. She's gonna be so grateful if you can help her. Now it's time to remember how to make a big O and a little o. We can go right back in our notebook to page 13 and go to the bottom where we've made our big O's. Remember that we're going to make a curve and a curve, a curve and a curve, a curve and a curve, curve and a curve. We're doing a curve this way and a curve that way. Okay, stop the video and you trace over your big O. Okay, now we're back for little o. We're going to make a curve and a curve. Curve and keep going all the way up to the top. Curve around. Curve. Curve this way, curve that way for little o. Now it's your turn to try. How'd you do? Are you getting better at making curves? Awesome. If you want extra practice, you can use your tactile card and just fill that circle, go all the way around. You could just keep going around and around. It's just like making a circle, a big O and a little o. This one's just a little bit shorter. And then some more things you can do with letter O is on page 18. You can make an obstacle course. Do you remember that O says ah, O, and oo? The first sound is the short vowel sound of ah. So obstacle course is that sound. You can have an O breakfast with oatmeal or Cheerios or OJ. That's the long sound of O. You can draw an octopus with a circle for the head. And do you know how many legs an octopus has? You better make sure you draw 8 legs on your octopus, and then you could color each leg a different color. You can eat an otter pop. That's an ah sound for O. There's some different books that have an O in the name, like Olivia books. That's Olivia, Oliver, and Owl Babies. You can learn about animals that start with O, like otter, ox, octopus, and even owl. That one makes kind of a different sound because the W's with it, but it still starts with O. And then I think it would be fun if you roll your Play-Doh out to make a big circle with your Play-Doh. So have some fun with letter O. Remember that it's a special vowel, and I'll see you next time. Bye, friends.